We did it. Fuck ass computer. All right, y'all. We're back. We're back, baby. We're back. Let's go. Thank you, Benson. You're the GOAT. Y'all, this is the issue with computers. Like, I realized that I ended up, like, you have to change all these new settings to have new microphones and shit. So, there you go. We're back. I just talked that whole time for literally no reason. Benson, I have not seen Josh Simmons enough. I was actually recording a video that just dropped. It dropped at 7:15. So I actually did this on a whim. I was like, I'm sitting here, I'm watching the game. Like, why not just watch it with you guys? So we got some fun stuff coming up, though. I mean, obviously, you could tell I'm sitting in my living room. The lighting is absolute ass. I mean, granted, it's not like I'm setting up in the professional recording room. Oh, he was run blocking. Dude, I'm so excited, guys. I ended up fiddling around with this shit the whole time. But, we're excited to watch 3/4 of Josh Simmons live. But apparently there's a big Josh Simmons block. I mean, if there's a big one, then I'm super hyped. I don't know if you guys can hear this bum-ass peacock music in the background, but I absolutely detest it. I don't know what's up with it. Ryan Poles needs to be at this game for O-line help. Yeah. I mean, there's a minimum of 4 guys who I really like in this game. Obviously, the 2 tackles for Oregon, Connerly, as well as Cornelius. But, I mean, you could throw Marcus Harper in there. The right guard? I'm tripping. I haven't looked at my rankings in a second because I never draft this dude. Hello. Oh, my. There's a Twitter. You know how unhinged Twitter is, and there's like a video that just popped up. I'm like, ooh, it's an old one. Let's see. Marcus Harper. Yeah, no, he was one of my lowest graded offensive guards. But he's their left guard. Just wanted to double check to not dissuade you guys if you guys end up actually liking the right guard. But yeah, and then, of course, the left side of the Ohio State offensive line. Theoretically, the center as well, Seth McLaughlin. Miller Moss was impressive to me, too, besides a few bad misses, says Jason. You know what, Jason? We're popping you up here, buddy. I watched that game, and, I mean, obviously you guys know how high I was on Miller Moss. And it's certainly not like, okay, I'm going to straight up be sent to a loony bin. And, I don't know if you guys saw American Horror Story back when, okay, they actually are whatever. But I don't know if you guys saw the Asylum episode, or was it a season? I think it was season 2, Asylum. But they had that like French song playing, the and I'm like, it's supposed to drive people crazy. That's the peacock music. It drives me nuts. Anywho, y'all know how high I was on Miller Moss, and he's just been going step down each game in terms of processing. This week, I think I had the least amount of confidence in him because when I saw him in big situations, like at the start of the year, he's hitting 15, 20, 30-yard passes that are big-time throws, maybe not recorded as such, but to me, NFL translatable throws on the money and like threading the needle, like being able to layer passes. And obviously, I still think he can do that. But this week, especially in big-time situations, I saw him checking down a lot or throwing short passes a lot. And to me, I think that was the big Achilles heel was that, I mean, it was a lot of really good play calling, but almost conservative execution. And that's just not the Miller Moss way. And I think that's why they lost. But, obviously it's not like he was ass out there. It's just, you guys know from my point of view, my mental frame of him being one of the top quarterbacks in the class, if not the top, definitely did not show out today. But yeah, Benson, Iggy did have that was the pass. Oh, I was probably muted for that. I was saying Iggy needs to watch out for like how he's aggressive. Will Howard, almost a touchdown. I was saying Iggy needs to watch out for like how he's physical. No, he's amazing when it comes to using physicality, but it's just very obvious. He's going to be a penalty machine if he doesn't refine how he's physical. So that's my big issue with Iggy at the moment, but the dude's a monster. But getting back to what Jason was talking about here, Aller is getting some hate on Twitter. I thought he was lights out besides the 2 terrible picks. For a 20-year-old quarterback with his tools and work ethic, he's going to be so good by the time he's 24, 25. I'm in a very similar situation. There were some points. So the interception that was like the 3-yard hitch to the tight end that ended up getting deflected and by Ramsey. And then I'm forgetting who number 4 is, but USC's defensive back caught the tip. And that kind of set them up to go to OT. That was just a play that I think it was the right decision, just the wrong time. It took them too long to get back to that hitch. And that's a play where if it's there, you throw it. But you don't go to it as like your second, third, or fourth read. That needs to be like, hey, I want to get a quick tempo play and just nail it and go on. Like, that's how you're supposed to hit that play. And Drew didn't do that. That's something in time I think he will definitely learn. And I don't know if you guys saw this tweet that I put out earlier. I was thinking, I've always considered this idea. It's like, well, we always talk about quarterback hand size, and well, they play in college, and they throw the ball well. Like, why would it matter? I ended up looking at the dimensions of the NFL ball. It is noticeably larger. And if you guys see, like, I ended up putting 2 shorts up on YouTube, but I also ended up posting it on my Instagram. I throw an NFL ball. Now, I know it's not like an informational thing. You guys just said you wanted to see my personal life, and it's football related. I love throwing a football with my dad. And, he's a little bit on the older side. So, like, I love documenting it because, like, it's one of my favorite things to do. And so, like, that's just something I do on my own anyway. So, you guys said you wanted it on Twitter, and I was like, screw it, I'll give it to you guys. But when I throw a football, I throw it with the Duke. And I'd never have thrown it with a college ball. So to me, I didn't really understand the difference. When, like, I don't have a massive hands. I think I have 9 1/4-inch hands, which, I mean, it's larger than Kenny Pickett's, but I'm forgetting. I might be 9 1/4 on my left and then like 9 1/8 on my right. It is actually different. If you guys see, like, I do have a larger left hand. I should have been a lefty, right? I used to be actually ambi, but I throw an NFL ball better than a smaller ball. Like, the spiral I get on an NFL ball is noticeably better because it sits in my hand better. And I see a lot of these wobbly passes from Alar, and he has bigger hands than I do, I assume. I assume it's not because he has small hands, because there's a spectrum to, like, how comfortable you are throwing a ball. I'll let you guys see a little bit more of my face. But, like, when a ball is too small for your hand, you're not going to be able to let it sit and release and roll off your fingers the way that you want to. Oh, man, it's so weird watching Dylan Gabriel roll out left as a lefty. I'm just so not used to it. I don't watch Tua Tagovailoa every single week. But, oh, damn. That was a bad snap. That was a solid recovery by Gabriel, but then he still ended up losing yards to Tez. If there were college PPR, then that would be a great thing for me as a Tez owner. But I digress. I think that if your hand is too big for a ball, you're just not going to be super comfortable with it. And it made me start understanding why pro days, and, like, especially pro days, and you could also talk about the combine, everybody says, oh, don't focus on the throwing there. And yes, that should, oh, beautiful rainbow ball to Evan Stewart. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's dragging Denzel Burke. Denzel, I just gave you so much credit in a video, and you just do that to me. Great ball by Gabriel, by the way. Holy Toledo. Wow. Double move. Man, double moves are what Denzel Burke is best at. That's what, like, those are the plays. Man, I mean, he was shaded inside too. Like, he was inside, facing inside, and got double moved to his back. That's probably why. I don't know why you do that in the first place. If you're going to shade inside, man, again, I'm far from the guru at this, but if I were a defensive coordinator, if I'm shading my defensive backs inside, I'm not allowing a receiver to do what they want to their back. Like, I don't, unless they're Will Johnson, like, unless you have elite spatial awareness, I want my corner to be eyes on the receiver the whole time. And I think that if Denzel was actually facing Evan Stewart the whole time, like, inside shade, faced outwards, I think he would have seen the body language and would have known. So I'm gonna say don't do that again for Denzel. But at the same time, what's the deal? Why are they, like, replaying this 1,000 times? Oh, they're just saying he's staying in bounds. I mean, that's a ridiculous play by Evan Stewart. I got to give him credit for that. That's an NFL play right there. Good for him. I digress. I don't even remember what I was fully talking about. I was talking about NFL ball size before just getting absolutely destroyed in my heart by Evan Stewart destroying Denzel Burke. But great for Evan Stewart. That's almost a stock up play right there. I mean, it is a stock up play, but we'll see if the performance overall will be in the top 14, as y'all know. But anywho, talking about the ball, I do think that if your hand is too large for a football, then you're not going to get the grip that you really want, and it doesn't roll off your fingers the same way. If a ball is too big for your hand, I feel like the spiral itself is adequate, but then maybe your ball velocity, because you can't actually get the grip you want, would be inadequate, or the placement because of the fact that you're having to essentially release it at a different point than where if your fingers had proper grip, you'd be able to release it. I'm saying this from my own experience, of course. I mean, I assume that that's pretty logical, but logic doesn't always work in the real world, which is funny. Anyways, I really love Drew Allar. That long way of getting to the fact that Drew had some poor decisions today. He tried to layer a pass and just there wasn't enough room. The defensive back or linebacker. Oh, shit. Evan Stewart just mossed Burke again. Flag down. Denzel, is this a stock down week for you, buddy? Oh, no. That flag, everybody's celebrating. They know that flag's on the defense. Ooh, that's not good. Ugh, Ryan Day needs to, oh, man. Roughing the passer? Oh, face mask. Ooh. Ryan Day needs some eye cream, man. Those eye bags are bigger than mine. My God. Anyways, getting back to it. Drew Allar's super young still, and personally, I definitely see him just continuing to climb up. I think that the touchdown to Tyler Warren was all Tyler Warren, but I don't think that a quarterback should naturally have a great feel for looking down the middle of the field placement-wise when he's throwing from the left hash. I don't want my quarterback to be comfortable throwing down the middle of the field from the left hash. That's usually what happens with the interceptions. Tyler Warren went off, though, and I was worried early on that he was extremely reliant on Tyler Warren, and that ended up being far less as the game went on. So I really love the resiliency from Allar, and obviously the third interception was a YOLO throw. I'm like, whatever. It was the last second, just saying fuck it. But I mean, I thought overall he did a really solid job. Ball placement still way too high on a lot of throws, but better than it was last year. And I love seeing that progression. Again, I've talked about this in a lot of videos, but there's a video of Drew Allar from either middle school or high school showing his throwing motion, and it was god awful. And it shows like year after year after year how he continued to develop his throw motion. And it's gotten to the point where it's getting better and better and better. And a theory of mine is when you see the wobble on the ball, aerodynamics wise, you're not having the efficiency on the ball. So it probably isn't being placed where his mind wants it to go. So hopefully as he improves his release, as he improves, maybe gets to a ball that's a better fit, then that would actually improve. So there you go. Voila. There's my long-winded way. Saw your tweet about his wobbly passes and that not being an issue with an NFL ball. Totally agree. I mean, again, it's a complete theory. I'm pulling it out of my ass, but it's just something that I ended up, okay, we're going back to the AHS music. It was a theory that I just ended up wanting to voice, and God bless Twitter, because I mean, most sites would be like, you're speaking complete BS. So no. How about that Illinois game? I saw they were kicking ass. I'm going to be honest. I was totally focused on USC, Penn State, and Texas OU. So I'm going to have to watch that one. We'll bring Marcus Bowe back on the show as well, because he's been having some struggles, but he's still a good guy. And honestly, that whole entire team has been absolute cheeks. So Cash ended up asking, who's my top 3 quarterbacks? I'm going to say that like it's going to change based off of this week's analysis. So projecting what it is going to be, I would say Cam Ward, Milroe, and Allar. Because I'm going to say Moss. It's so close, by the way. Hold on. Let me pull up my Yeah, I'm not going to let you guys see it because it's for a quarterback video and they're still not complete. But between Alar and Moss right now, because Moss is technically my QB1, which, again, based on his performance today, I do think there's going to be certain areas that I reduce his overall grade. So he'll probably end up being QB4, QB5 for me. The difference between Alar and Moss is 2 points. So there's a very, very small gap. So I do think it's going to be Ward, Milroe, Alar. Those are going to be my top 3. But Shadur, right there. Dylan Gabriel as well, right there. There's a lot of really, really potentially solid quarterbacks in this class. I will say I have 4 fringe grades. I've already told you a top 3 plus a guy who I think will be slipping a little bit. So it shows you the guys who I think are fringe starters in the NFL. The rest of them I do think are developmental at the moment. And I'm trying to get better in terms of my quarterback analysis. Like I'm reweighting stuff just to be able to reflect what I actually think a quarterback should be graded upon. But for the most part, I feel pretty damn confident about that. Guillermo Escueda. Feel free to correct me if I say that wrong. Guillermo is an absolute G. He ends up being, oh, there's a fumble. God damn, dude. I got ADD. I keep getting distracted by shit. But Guillermo is a dude who's an absolute G. Comments on all my videos. He's the algorithm buster. Another fumble? Brother. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? You got to be kidding me. What's going on? Oh, I'm tripping balls. It wasn't a fumble. Oh, ow. That was an onside kick to the rib cage. Oh, damn. I was like, that was quick. Woo. Ow. And then the kicker went right for the throat with the helmet. Damn. I was talking to my girlfriend earlier today about like actually missing contact because if you guys have been following, I did play for 7 years. And, I still remember one time I got lit up. There's a dude named John Burton who ended up playing for Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, a little while back. And it was like a King of the Hill style play. And the dude just laid me the F out. And I was just like, it was the only time I think I ever got hit. And I was actually hyped for the other guy about it. But I was just thinking about not just that moment, but a lot of times where, when I was smaller as well and I was playing, I had a size advantage. Or when I was younger, I had a size advantage just because I was an early growth kid. And it's just like the feeling of contact is like, it's just a testosterone inducing thing. It just, man, I miss it. So seeing stuff like that, I don't miss that, but I do certainly miss some other aspects of the game. But yes, Benson, Burke's having a bad game. But yes, to go back to Guillermo, this dude comments on every single one of my videos multiple times, even with timestamps. So like true G right there. Respect to you for that, Guillermo. Spot on. He tried to fit a crosser into too tight of a window. The defender did a great job. I'll admit, we're talking about the Drew Alar second interception. The defender read that as if he were running the route. Honestly, more props to the defender than anything. I personally, if I were throwing with anticipation like Alar was in that situation, I don't know if I would have expected the defender to run that route, so to speak, as well as he did. The Oregon wide receiver gets a wide receiver first round grade now. I mean, he's been doing a great job. Is that Evan Stewart again? No, it's not. Whose man's? I need to Holden. Ohio State's defense is allowing another bad snap from the center. But man, Dylan Gabriel is proving why he should still be my QB5, even with the -5. Hello. My phone's out here? I didn't even know that my phone's out here. I hear a little ding around here though. Where the heck is my phone? I literally don't even know where my phone is. But Dylan Gabriel's having himself a day. But regardless, what about SMU, my ponies? Do they do anything this week? I'm pretty sure we had a bye week. This is our bye week. And then next week, I think we go to Duke. And then they're back. We're playing Pitt this year, too, at home. And Cal. Then we're also playing Stanford. But is Miller Moss ass or not? So I assume Brandon's also asking how was Miller Moss today. So Miller was disappointing. I would say that far from bad, because again, you're talking against one of the number one defenses in the country, like probably top 10. He still performed really valiantly. Like, I still saw a lot of progress, but comparatively to how well he showed potential-wise, he wasn't hitting those those deep intermediate throws into really tight windows the way he was back versus Michigan. And I was quite surprised by that. What the hell is Iggy doing? Did he get flagged? Iggy better not have gotten flagged for that. Did Holden just get flagged? Oh, no. There's no reason Holden should have been flagged for that, if I'm going to be honest. Getting in some dude's face after he pushes you, like, I know the retaliation usually gets penalized. This dude going to the law? Hold up. What the fuck just happened? Iggy was talking. Oh, he spit on him. Yeah, that's classless. I don't give a shit what someone says. You don't spit on somebody. Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool. Where the hell is my phone? What? I don't even know where my phone's at. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. He was Miller miss. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was like that. I just thought that he was being extremely extremely conservative in terms of his throwing, and that's not great for his style. Not sure if USC receivers are just bad, but it looks like chemistry's off with them and Moss. I mean, I think it's a combination. Like, oh, what a beautiful delivery on that out route. Dude, Burke's getting fucking cooked. What the hell? It's like Denzel tweet. Can someone look up to see if Denzel was hurt at all? Because I swear to God, he might have been. I mean, there's no way he's like genuinely performing this much. Ooh, I just saw Will Howard just like look like he was belching. That was nasty. Oh, how interesting. That was a 3rd and goal. I assume that's why he was so far off. But I mean, again, there's no reason to play that much bender break, yeah? Shoot. Regardless, I do think USC's receiving talent is significantly less. They ended up even losing Dorian Singer because I think he's at Utah right now. But on top of that, Brennan Rice isn't there anymore. And Mario Williams left to Tulane. They lost their top 3 weapons. So I could definitely see that being the case. And is Price Gorn also from USC? I know that he was on Ole Miss last year, but like receiving talent wise, they're certainly not great. So that's crazy. I just seen those comments from like Benson where he's saying to spit on him. Like, oh, that's crazy. But Iggy had to be told by the ref to stop celebrating after it looked like he was hyping up the crowd. I mean, I'm sure that that's the case. Iggy's a beast, man. He's a dog. Just needs to be a little bit smarter about his decisions than anything. By the way, I hope you guys can see the screen. I tried to enlarge it as much as possible for you guys to be able to see. Like, let me know if like we're gonna mess around. We're gonna F around and find out. No, I don't like that UI. I like that there. We boosted it a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. There you go. It's a little bit, like slightly more. So I've never seen a player get spit on then try to hype up the away crowd. To be fair, I'm pretty sure a lot of Ohio State fans travel. And but yes, it's certainly interesting. Oh my God, there's the AHS music in the background again. I just picked up on it. He's a Jaguar. Yeah. I mean, I honestly would love that. So I remember the rep I fell in love with Tyson Campbell was a rep versus Kyle Pitts. It was actually a touchdown by Kyle Pitts. But I realized it's like there is zero separation on this. If he improves where his hand was or simply wasn't playing Kyle Pitts, it's an absolute shutdown. So that was like the rep I started really believing in him. So that was a fun little side story there. I'll go back to Jason in a second. Berg's definitely dropping now unless he has a monster second half. Hey, to be fair, he had a sucky beginning of the sophomore year and ended up bouncing back. So I definitely think that could be possible. But back to Jason. On the topic of Penn State, what does Warren have to do to supplant Loveland as tight end 1? Love them both. Honestly, dude, it's based on system. I don't think that either team will have them like in a competition because they're playing completely different roles. Tyler Warren's going to be after the catch, 260 pounds blocker. When you look at Colson Loveland, he's going to be a separator at 245 and still can contribute as a blocker, but you're going to look at him more as a receiving threat. Tyler Warren, even though he is a receiving threat, talking about over 200 yards today, which is ridiculous, he is someone that you didn't see him produce based off of him essentially being a prime route runner, right? It's contested catches, just simply defensive slip-ups, and then him after the catch being a monster. Not trying to degrade what he's doing, but if you're looking at the primary traits that make him super productive, it's he takes advantage of when the defense slips up. And he's someone who is uber reliable, great hands, and then after the catch has that leg drive as well. And then again, adding an extra 15 pounds on that frame makes him very, 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 very talented in terms of the role that maybe the Eagles would be looking for. But if you're looking for someone, I actually just saw Colson Loveland go to the Seahawks, or you're looking at him primarily as a receiving weapon, like I feel like there's conversations for teams that are looking at Loveland that would want to look at Warren. But if teams are looking at a style like Warren, there's going to be no consideration of Loveland. So I think it's just very team dependent and the vision for the team. There's not really a need to supplant one or the other, if that makes sense. But Warren's doing a great job. And unfortunately, either this is good for, my God, Trey Hendrickson. This offensive line is actually having a tough time. And that's actually a big surprise to me. Oregon's defensive front, this is a big challenge game for Ohio State. They're having relatively a tough time. I've been seeing a lot of penetration, especially on the interior, that I'm not a fan of at all. But going back to it, like Warren just needs to, I think Warren in terms of route running could be a little bit more refined. I think he still does a solid job, but for me, I had issues with his consistency. And I think the route running wise still has that relative issue, but everything else I had issues with in terms of consistency out the window. So he'll probably end up being my tight end 1. So to me, he is my tight end 1. But you got guys like Fannin. Like I would say Fannin and Loveland would be a more interesting conversation because they're both looked at more primarily for the receiving aspect rather than their overall impact as a pure legitimate NFL tight end. So it's an interesting conundrum, but something that certainly is a great question because ooh, that was a good tight window throw by Drew. No, I want to call him Drew Alar. Will Howard right there on that third down play. I'm seeing, yeah. Okay, so you guys get to see the play. Technically, damn, that's being updated before my game is. So you guys at least get to see me reacting to it. Will Howard's been pretty damn solid in rhythm so far from the plays that I've seen. And I think if Will can remain in rhythm, the placement's there. Looking at where he's at on my board, Will Howard's QB9. Actually, he's tied to QB7. I have Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, and Will Howard in that same 68 grade. Spoiler alert for the video. But continuing on, we got Fluffy Dogs heading out. All right. Gonna have the game up. Good for you, man. Enjoy, my friend. We got 120 people in here. If you guys haven't already done so, hitting the like button helps it get through the algorithm a little bit more. So I've never done one of these. It's been quite fun. Sims got put on his ass. Oh no. I've been so focused on talking to you guys. Oh, he's hurt too. Get up. Get up, Josh. I honestly have that concern in terms of his anchor. I do think, Mikulski? What a weird name. I've never seen a name like that before. Oh, fuck off. Come on, man. Please say that's just a slight injury. Please say it's just a pain to walk right now. No, they're bringing out the cart. Oh, for fuck's sake. You gotta be kidding me. Oh. He's a good prospect at left tackle, Ohio State. Yeah, he's my number 3 guy. You gotta be kidding me. Guys, by the way, you don't even need to ask me football-related questions. I am a human being. So you can ask me as many football questions as you want. But I just saw something talking about, hey, JD Sports Talk. I'm going to pretend that Brosno's here. Ringy-dingy-dingy-dingy. Looks like Sanders versus Ward QB draft. Shaky class. Yeah. I mean, right now it's definitely not looking like a great QB class. We had our moments. God dang it. Man, why are you being caught up? I'm praying to God. Hello. I'm praying to God it's like something like MCL tear where, he could just bounce back from that with a quick surgery. Hopefully, shorter return time. God, that fucking sucks. Right after I fall in love with this dude, ends up getting hurt and has to get carted off. But yeah, awful class in terms of like actual starting talent. And yeah, man, it's certainly scary. A lot of really good developmental guys. The great news about the NFL is that, good escapability, good playmaking by Will Howard to just dump it off to Henderson. I mean, he was open in the clear. It was a throw behind, but so it was like kind of like a toss, but he's like 250 pounds. That was good maneuverability. But yeah, I mean, you're seeing a lot of developmental guys in the NFL. Luckily, because of the resurgence of Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, a lot of these teams aren't necessarily desperate for quarterbacks. So developmental guys sound bad until you realize application-wise, it's not as scary as you think. But yes, if you're talking about your team drafting a QB in round 1, there is some concern. 100%. But thank you for the super chat. I think that's what it's called. The ringy dingy dingy $2. Beautiful. Thank you again. Do appreciate that. But I see Nate's question in here. I'm getting to every single one of these because Broshman's not here, so he doesn't allow me to ignore him. But does it remind you of the Packers tight ends with Musgrave being Loveland and Warren being Kraft's prototype? That's interesting. That's it. Where the hell is my phone? Do y'all hear that? What the crap? My phone is just not here. Is my phone? My phone's underneath my table. I'm like, where the fuck is my phone? Oh, my mom. By the way, we have Devin Jackson coming on the show, good friend of the show. I think that's a really interesting point, though, by the way, Jason. I could totally see that. The thing with Musgrave is that he was more of a vertical threat than I think like a route runner. With Loveland, he's almost like a pure wide receiver that can block as well, but his primary asset is actually his route running to me. So I love the idea, and I think if we're saying like within like 10 to 15%, I think it's actually a really good comparison between the two. But I haven't really seen a tight end similar to Loveland in the time that I've been grading tight ends to where like they would be to that level of a receiving threat, but not necessarily the vertical threat. But I certainly do I like the idea. Certainly, it's a good comment right there. So he's staying basically fine. That feels like a just in case thing. I pray to God. We're talking about Josh Simmons here getting carted off the field. I pray to the Lord himself. What's a guilty pleasure of mine? I mean, food for the most part. I'm an without the I ended up realizing that this ends up sounding like not the way I intended. But I debated making a food channel called Closeted Fat Ass because it's like I'm not necessarily a big guy. I have some pinchable, so trying to get into my Will Levis shape. But I absolutely adore food. I love coffee. Like I'm just a big like culinary arts type of guy. Am I a good cook? I'm good for people that aren't considered cooks. Like that's how I describe myself. Like I know my spices. I know my protein. I know my macros. Like I, for the most part, have an understanding. But I'm also a guy that eats a box of mac and cheese a day. I shit you not. That's actually true. But yeah, I mean, guilty pleasure of mine would probably be in the food category. If I'm going to go outside of that, I mean, shoot, like a guilty pleasure, something that I do that makes me feel a little guilty. It's a little bit wrong, but like it makes me feel better. I'm kind of a boring person in that category. Like so I went to school in Switzerland for my first semester because I was part of an abroad program, and I ended up like really liking to go out and party, but that's because we had a bar on campus and like a bar in the really close neighborhood. So only friends would go there. One of them was actually named Friends Coffee Pub. So like for me, that was my guilty pleasure, kind of like going out partying. But I mean, honestly, I don't really have time for guilty pleasures. But I would say maybe pizza. Pizza might be like that. Pizza, mac and cheese. And to be fair, it's like the box mac and cheese. I get like the Annie's shit, the Super Mac. The grass-fed one's the best, but the Super Mac has that extra protein, and you can buy it in bulk on Amazon for cheaper. So it's a long-winded way of saying I have no fucking clue. So going back, everybody else was shaky today. I know JD is talking about his super chat right here, the quarterback class. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of positives, a lot of negatives to discuss. And so that's going to be super tough to do in the risers and fallers just because of the fact that if you guys don't know, I go through every single game. Like tomorrow, every single morning, every single Sunday morning, I spend 4 hours going through every single game, especially like primarily I'll ditch the ones that I don't think are NFL translatable. I don't care if Trey Harris can get 300 yards versus Furman, which he didn't, but like that's just the example that popped in my mind. But the majority of games, if I don't think it's like a complete gimme, I'll go and I'll look at how players played. So like it's going to be very difficult for said players to make said list because I thought they were shaky, but none of them performed poorly in the aspect of like, oh, like the way Denzel Burke is playing right now, where he's getting mossed by dudes like 5'9", or is Evan Stewart 5'9"? I think he might be 6 foot, just like really skinny. I'm pulling up my own wide receiver notes right now just to double check. You guys know me. I'm not a big guy into, I'm not a big Evan Stewart guy. 6 foot 175. I knew he was small in size, but I did not, at least you got some Devontae Smith height there. But, getting mossed by somebody that you shouldn't be getting mossed by, that's like maybe a bottom 11 performance. But it keeps it simple for me because I end up going through and legitimately every week I have like 90 guys. It's just like, it's unattainable to be able to talk about every winner and every loser. So definitely something when I do the mock drafts, that's why like mock the mock and doing the mock drafts, it allows me to then discuss the rest of the list as well. Because, well, now I actually know my shit. But I try my best to like know every single line. And y'all know me. I try my best to know everything. But cooking with Barber, that'd be funny. That'd be funny. But looking at, I'm no doctor. We're going back to, Quinshawn. Man, for some reason, I don't know why, the Penn State backs as well as the Ohio State backs, majority of running backs right now, I don't know why their balance is just worse than it used to be. Like I'm seeing them like go and like obviously right here I'm talking about it. Quinshawn gets like yanked and then he still maintains his feet. But I'm seeing a lot of guys slipping more. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe cleat technology is not as good as it used to be. I'm not sure. Oh, he just tried to do the one hand to Jeremiah Smith. I love that. But I'm no doctor, but looking at his body language when he was up, he wasn't favoring either side. If it was really bad, he wouldn't be able to do that. Praying to the Lord, man. Praying Josh Simmons is okay. What about a fat blunt? I'll just say, well, I haven't actually, on the record and off the record, I don't smoke, but, I used to live in Cali. So there was a time. And in Switzerland, there was a time I had particular friends that, what a strike. Good throw. Emeka Ibuka. That was a beautiful play by both of them. Great play design as well. Good separation, but good timing, good placement. That was just a damn solid play. So Emeka Ibuka just scored on the left boundary. Ohio State just perfect. What was that, a wheel route? Yup. It was an out and up. You could essentially call it a wheel. But that was perfect. That is excellent execution, man. Excellent execution. Like that was no adjustment needed by the wide receiver, but perfect timing. He ran the route at the perfect speed as well to where it was playable, but still, yeah, no, excellent job. Oh, you guys don't get to see what the actual play is. What the fudge? There we go. There we go. Sorry, guys. So now all right. I'm gonna try. I hope the video doesn't continue popping up for you guys. That looks fine. If videos start popping up, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, no, honestly, that is not one of my guilty pleasures. It's more so the food than anything. Also, my girlfriend's a nurse, so even the Stogies had to take a quit. They did. I have cigarillos, but I need to smoke those with a homie. And between you and me, most of my homies moved after graduation, and I got a couple other dudes, but you know, you have to be a special type of friend to smoke a stogie with. I'll just put it that way. You got to earn your keep. But Aiden said, "What's up, bro? What's good, man? Thoughts on the Drake May start? I think it's a horrible decision to instantly put Drake May in pretty much the clasp of Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. It's not like, oh, you're facing a solid defense, don't put him in. No, we're talking about an unbelievable mismatch between offensive line and defensive line. Like you're knowingly losing in the trenches, and Ramondre Stevenson's out. Like there's no way if you're gonna rely on Antonio Gibson. Like I loved Antonio Gibson from Memphis, man, I really did, but that's not the best way to give your quarterback momentum, especially in his first start. So I'm really worried, but is it a lost cause? No, absolutely not. I think it would be foolish to say it's a lost cause. But if you're looking at talent development, it is one of the dumbest decisions to choose this week of all weeks to put him in, just because of the multitude of factors that could make him not doing well. But Big Chew Poppy ends up saying he'll throw for 700 yards. That'd be great. My guilty pleasure of mine is not finishing a Hail Mary Sports video. Honestly, dude, I talk my ass off. I don't blame you. I hope you just enjoy it, the part that you do listen to. But you know what? I have longer form content. It's okay. If you don't want to sit down and listen to an hour video, I respect it. Just go for the parts that you want to watch, enjoy it. And that's really all I can ask of you. Just if you don't enjoy it, let me know why. But I do try my best to give you guys some informative content that still has some form of enjoyment factor. Suggs, what's good, bro? And talking about Kyle Kennard as a first rounder, I would say he's definitely pushing into day 2 100%. I got to give him an official grade, but I really do love South Carolina defenders. Got to admit. So I would not be surprised to give him a second round grade. And it's honestly not hard to get first round. Jason ends up saying, got to head out. Just want to say, love your channel. Very knowledgeable content. You'll get your recognition in due time. Keep grinding. Good things are coming. Thank you, bro. Really do appreciate it, Jason. You've had some excellent questions. You ended up really kicking off the stream as well. So shout out to you. Shout out to Guillermo. Shout out to all you guys for actually putting comments in. You guys are great. But we do have some fun things coming. We're going to be doing a project that I cannot disclose in like late November, early December time with another brand that I'm super excited about. So fingers crossed that still goes through. But coming in the new year, we might see some changes. And I'll just leave it there. But let's just say I might have a fun opportunity that would be very intriguing to you guys. And hopefully it ends up working out. Chances are it won't, because I have a full-time job right now outside of this, and it would be very difficult to leave said job unless obviously the offer was like worth it. But let's just say there's a legitimate chance that we could see some big changes coming up soon. So keep that in mind. I mean, honestly, guys, going to Mobile, if you guys have been following me, you guys know I went to Mobile for the first time for the Senior Bowl this past year. Best decision of my life. I mean, honestly, the people I met there, I didn't ever expect it to be remotely as worth it. I would pay $100,000 to go on that trip. To relive that trip again, I'd pay $100,000. Like, I don't have $100,000, so I'm not one of those type of guys. But like, it was a transformative experience, and one of the connections I got there, we were working on something. So hopefully that ends up going the way I want it to. But I mean, if not, still great opportunities coming our way. So thank you again, Jason. You've been a beast. Hopefully we're going to do more of these. So because I actually have Peacock, I have ESPN Plus. So all we have to do is just sit here and chill. But continuing on, a couple of questions. We got Scott. Hi, Scott. How are you feeling about the Arizona 2025 prospects? So I assume you're talking about Tecario, Tetaroa, as well as Noah Fafita. So I haven't really studied enough Arizona tape this year, if I'm just going to be completely transparent, just because I wanted to see a little bit more. I've watched like the defense side. I watched Tecario recently, and I have some concerns with Tecario. I think he actually might have to end up being a safety. Like, it's a little bit worrisome to me when a player is 6'4" and has hard time changing directions. I ended up posting a clip about it on X, and it sucked because I'm somebody that's like, hey, coming into the year, you guys can look at my way too early 2025 mock, which I had Derek Harmon somehow in the first round. I don't know what the hell is going on with me then, but apparently it's working out. That was a Hail Mary shot. But yeah, Tecario was somebody. Tetaroa and Tecario were two guys I was very, very high on, who I'm not necessarily as high on now. But I ended up describing it in the video I just released today. I ended up doing a CBS mock the mock, but Tetaroa, it's a post-draft analysis. I need to see the system he's going to and the team he's going to be on, the role he's going to play, because I think he is more role-specific than the majority of people believe. He's going to be someone who can separate with vertical speed and then being able to sit in soft zone, pretty much, being able to pick apart zone coverage and running after the catch. That's a very, very valuable trait set to have, but he generates zero separation with actual technique. And that could prove to be his downfall. Or if he's in a system that primarily can use him like a Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but to almost an elite level, you're pretty much getting MVS without the drop issues. And that's a very valuable player in a lot of systems. So it is post-draft analysis for that. Fafita, I think he's a little too inconsistent. I love him to death. Y'all know how much I love Noah Fafita. But sub 6 foot quarterbacks, unless you're Dylan Gabriel at this moment, and even Dylan Gabriel's had his relatively poor. Speaking of relatively poor, he just missed a hitch route, but he's had his relatively poor performances as well. Sub 6 foot quarterbacks just don't make it, unfortunately. And they're trying to say, by the way, that Dylan Gabriel's 6 foot. I saw that. I'm like, this dude was noticed as 5'10". All of a sudden at Oregon, he gains 2 inches. Don't think so. I don't think so. But it's just, we've gotten to the point where quarterbacks that are 6 foot and under, there's a point, like I ended up talking about thresholds in my most recent video, where like you could be 6'2" and still be solid, 6'1", still be solid. Another rainbow ball over Denzel Burke. Are you fucking kidding me? Tez Johnson touchdown. What the heck? Denzel, what are we doing? Oh my God. What is Denzel doing? Oh, who doesn't put safety help over the top after Denzel's been burnt twice, though? That's a defensive coordinator issue as well. This DC is not doing a good job. You got to be kidding me. I'm going to look at Burke is there's all the Burke comments. We got Kalen King all over again. No, he's been good this year. He's been better than Kalen King was during the regular season. But yes, I mean, I do have to admit, his performance today is Kalen King-esque. I don't know what the hell happened to Kalen King, by the way. But yes, Dylan Gabriel, by the way, so Scott ended up bringing this up. Dylan Gabriel, I fell in love with him at UCF for these rainbow balls, these deep passes that are just, they're Russell Wilson-esque. Like, you don't find quarterbacks that can consistently hit the rainbow ball the way that Dylan Gabriel can. That's why I have faith in Dylan Gabriel. By the way, he's QB5 right now. I just keep that under wraps because y'all know. I'm just not in the mood to receive flack on that. But yeah, I mean, he's a damn fuck Denzel. What the hell are you doing? God. But yeah, no, Dylan Gabriel, that's a specialty. Okay. I'm gonna take a quick tangent, but we got to get back to Scott's comment about the Arizona guys, because I guess this fits in with Fafita as well. Fafita has high-level plays, just like Dylan Gabriel. He can pick apart defense. I think that the downward spiral moments of Fafita, where he can kind of get into a negative rhythm, are more prevalent than Dylan Gabriel. But again, Fafita is sitting at QB9 for me, if I'm not mistaken. Hold up. Is he QB9 or 10 right now? He hasn't been reevaluated this year, but currently he's QB10. So based on that, even with all that involved, even with a -5 for his height, he's still QB10. So I have a lot of faith in the guy. It's just, again, when you're sub 6 foot, it just doesn't really work unless, like, I was talking to my girlfriend about, like, certain people, like, we were talking about this just one rich white lady, and, like, she just doesn't like this one lady just because of a reason that no one knows. And obviously I wasn't trying to say, like, oh, this lady's right, but trying to break down the psychology of why certain people, like, this doesn't just apply to rich white ladies. Like, there's plenty of people, and even when we're talking about sports, in order for someone to like somebody, you have to have, and especially for something that's long-term, like someone who's going to marry someone's son, or in football terms, someone who's going to be a starter on your team. That was a pretty mediocre pass by Will Howard, by the way. That was way too far behind. But when you're going to play a massive role in someone's life, you have to have at least one area that you're exceptional, right? You have to have one. That was a forced as fuck pass to Jeremiah Smith. I don't know why you'd force like a 3-yard out. It was like, I think, a 6-yard comeback, but it ended up essentially being the equivalent of that. Tight window, made a good throw, but you have to have a trait that's exceptional. So when you talk about like Isaiah Bond, it's a combination of being a really good route runner and being extremely athletic. But like for Tetero McMillan, it's having size and being extremely athletic for that size as well. I do not appreciate this video thing popping up every time. But regardless, if you don't have one of those, let's just say you're just mid in a majority of categories, or maybe you're just like solid in a majority of categories. When you're going to play a massive role, it's just not going to be good enough. You're going to be a temporary, or at least you're not going to be a star if that's the case. So if you're ever wondering why someone doesn't like you, they could just be a shitty person. But, you know, there's something that will always prove in sports, in life, something that will always prove to be the differentiator is if you can prove to be exceptional in something, haters going to hate, but you'll always have that as your backup. But regardless, that also pertains to Dylan Gabriel because he has a lot of negatives, but those rainbow balls would be beautiful. Pause, but they do. Regardless, yeah. So Fafita, that's gonna be my analysis of those three. What positions do I think the Steelers target in the next offseason? So I got to evaluate what the free agency class looks like a little bit more in depth. I know what teams have guys in terms of free agency, but I would say the Steelers should heavily focus on running back. Najee is going to be up. I think that we obviously need to focus on a secondary boundary receiver, which is why I'm worried about Luther Burden when people draft him to us, because I don't really trust him to be a full-time boundary receiver at 5'11". And his skill set is really solid, especially after the catch, to be in the slot. But yeah, so, and then also a boundary corner. You could also look at defensive interior. Cam Hayward's not getting younger. His contract is relatively friendly because it was a 3-year extension, but if I'm thinking about the guarantees, it's really kind of like a 1-year extension. So you could look at a developmental player for that. Let's just say Derek Harmon is there in the 3rd round. Perfectly fine with that idea. Oh my God. Oh, I thought Will Howard was like kissing that dude's bicep. I was like, I was like, that is just such a random camera shot for Dylan Gabriel getting back on the field. I was like, that's like, what's up with the camera work right there, guys? But no, it would just look like his hand was around the dude's arm and it was just a elbow brace. That caught me really off guard. But yeah, primarily those three. And then again, that 4th one of the defensive interior. Offensive line's not out of the question. I thought Troy Fautanu should be a guard. He could play tackle, like based on his arm length, but his play style tended to be, in my opinion, better suited for a guard. He could be Jonah Jackson-like in terms of that arm length on the interior and his feistiness. Like, it would end up leaning to, I think, a more successful career. But honestly, Oh, what a miss by Gabriel. He's missed short left twice now. And I've started to realize this with a lot of quarterbacks, short range on their throwing side. So Miller Moss, short right, a lot more erratic than straight on or to the opposite side. It's very, very interesting. It's because obviously you don't stop your torso in the same spot, but I think that's something I've seen twice now for Gabriel. He cannot throw to that left spot. And he just had a pretty off throw to Terrence Ferguson as well on a flat. So definitely something to keep note of. But anywho, I kind of forgot what I was talking about. Hello, ladies. My name is Alex, and today I'm going to be cooking a hamburger pizza in a Spanish accent. I don't think that I have that. April with no shirt on and a blunt in your mouth. You know what? I think the Texas government would love that. I should use other mock draft websites. We'll see about that. I'll just say that. There's not really a good one out besides PFF right now. And even PFF has its big limitations. Because it is essentially Trevor Sikkema's big board. And then you could just draft from it. That's the problem with the PFF draft simulator, because he actually ended up mentioning the conversation he and I had on the most recent episode. And that was actually quite funny to hear that. But, I do think they need to find a way to put NAs in there. And his response was saying like, oh, we can't do that. We have to give him a number. And he ended up saying like, well, all these kids do a ton of work. And if I haven't graded them and I just put them at like 300, that's a disservice to them. They work their entire lives and then they have this negative bias because, well, even though he hasn't studied them, they're ranked 300 right now on the PFF big board, even if he hasn't graded them. So I respect that. It's very annoying, but I'm not a fan of mock draft database. I'm just not. But at the same time, PFF sometimes doesn't have the right trades in. Like there's not a good one. PFN, I think, is an absolute crap mock draft simulator. And I know the guy who manages it. Like, I am biased towards my boy Kent because he's the one who manages PFN's mock draft simulator. But yeah, it's not good comparatively to other ones. But we might be using a new one soon. I'll leave it there. So if the Pats were to select offensive line, what do you think they draft next year in 2026? Now, we'd have to see what we have to see what else they draft in the 7th round or in the 7 rounds. So TBD on that. But to give you a non-boilerplate answer, I mean, I think a quality edge one. I mean, I don't think that's impossible to do this year because we do have a lot of really solid edge rushers in round 2. So again, that's why I'm saying it's very dependent on what you do. Like, let's just say you guys fall in love with Kenneth Grant or Deion Walker, and they're there in the 2nd round, and you take them, right? In the 3rd round, you'll go after an edge rusher, but they're going to be a rotational at that point, right? They're not going to be like a genuine edge one. That's when I would say shift to that. But let's just say a really good edge rusher slips, I'm trying to think of somebody who could slip. Let's just say you love Jalen Walker, and because he's a tweener, he ends up slipping too much. And then you draft him in the 2nd. Then I would say hopefully your offensive line, if you drafted in the 1st, would be adequate. And your weapons should be developed by that point. I would be focusing on defensive interior or even another corner. Like, that's just the way I rock. I look at like who can make the big difference. And I mean, again, it just really depends. But the standouts, defensive interior wise, I assume DeMonte Capehart. He's had a pretty slow start to the year. I'm forgetting what year he is, but I could see him returning. Peter Woods. The Clemson guys are honestly really, really good. But I honestly don't know enough about the defensive interior class for 2026. But the 2026 class is a lot of dudes. Casey Concepcion, if you're going to look at a receiver, right now that's my early pick for wide receiver 1 of next year's class. So Steelers Dream 2026 draft. So I assume that's going to be 2025 draft. Alar, Warren, and Higgins. Screw it. 3 tight ends. What? Oh, you're going to go Tyler Warren for tight end 3? That'd be insane. Jaden Higgins on the boundary. I would be perfectly acceptable with that draft. How's Denzel Burke doing? Says Ricks. You know damn well how well he's doing. And well is not in the description. So happy to hear about the opportunities you're getting. You deserve it. Thank you very much, Aiden. I try my best, man. I'm working a full-time job outside of this, and Well, it's draining. I'll admit that. But this show is like shows what kind of like my guilty pleasure. Going back to that question. So you're welcome, Scott. Continuing on, thoughts on Tetro McMillan to the Patriots? I mean, it just depends on where you draft him. If you're going to spend a top 10 pick, I wouldn't say that. And of course, yes. I mean, it's again boilerplate answer. If you somehow like, let's just say Drake May starts going off and you guys have like the pick 18, yeah, go for it, because you're getting a possession style receiver with deep threat abilities. And right now, I don't see that on your roster. So it's like it's a weird hybrid between possession and deep threat and red zone style that could be a really big asset. But if you're talking about early on, let's focus on the other issues first. So continuing on, my hope by Monty said, my hope is Drew Allard gets to play with Tyler Warren in the NFL. 100% agree. 100%. I think Drew Allard would end up being a round 2 quarterback at this point, and Tyler Warren would be the first round pick. That would be like if I were saying one's a first, one's a second based on their performance, then that'd probably be what I'd say. Burke is so ass. I'm out on him. Don't be out on him just because of his shitty play. Okay, so this is where we're talking about the you skipped my message. Nate, I'm not skipping your message. I'm literally going sequentially. Time for the Packers to trade up for the Notre Dame corner. I don't know. He hasn't done unbelievably well this year. Saying he talks about is Trey Harris. Yes, I'm 10 minutes behind, but I'm catching up right now. I haven't seen. So apparently he's cooking. I know that they're playing LSU, but LSU doesn't have a great corner core. So I'm hoping he's cooking. Fafita has had a rough go this year. Seems like it's regression. I do agree. His brother wants to go to Arizona, fun fact. He might end up staying with Tetro McMillan. When you're small, you have to be able to walk on water in the NFL, seems. I totally agree. At the end of the day, physics are physics, man. There's just going to be a certain point to where you have to physically be there. Oh, there we go. We got Peter Woods' comment before I was even talking about him. I want to get Peter Woods for the 2026 class for the Steelers. 100% agree. Honestly, that's that defensive interior position where at that point Cam Hayward's a little closer to being out. Monty asks, do you think Roman Wilson's just not good? It makes no sense why he hasn't seen the field. Okay, so he was hurt. He's been hurt since camp. So this is his first week back. So we'll see. I wasn't the biggest guy on Roman Wilson, but I do think, especially with the opportunities we have, I think he's going to be far better than what I thought he was in college. So I'm excited for him. But don't think that he hasn't seen the field because he's not good. It's because of the injury. Where are the Ohio State pass rushers? It's a good question. Honestly, I'm excited to dig into it as well because I've been more so focused on answering your comments than actually watching the damn game. But y'all know my style. It's supposed to be a chill time. But I haven't seen Dylan Gabriel get unbelievably pressured this game. And to be fair, I do think that the quality of tackle might be better than the quality of edge rusher, if you guys are picking up my drift. So who's better, Tyler or Harold for the Niners? Guillermo, good question, buddy. Good question. So let's see. You guys value blocking. So I would instantly say Tyler. And based on the fact that you essentially have 4 receivers on your team that are all should be taking reps, I think blocking from the tight end position is more valuable than after the catch. So I go with Tyler. But if you end up going after Harold Fannin Jr., not going to blame you. I mean, after the catch ability is kind of surreal. And that is becoming more and more the primary asset of the tight end position. Can you just sit in the soft zone, get the ball, and if you're able to get extra yards, that's a huge plus. More than just getting pure separation. By the way, guys, I'm now caught up. You guys can actually comment. I'll respond in pretty much real time. Where would you rank Concepcion among the other wide receivers drafted recently? Honestly, I know that you're not fully aware of his game. I'm going to be honest. I've only watched him in just normal, like watching him versus Clemson. Like I haven't actually studied Concepcion to that degree. And I hate to sound like Broshman when I say this. Like it's based on all the other guys I have to study. It's just a lower priority to actually fully understand. And again, if I'm going to be 100% with you, if I didn't have a full-time job, I'd have no excuse. Like not trying to throw anybody else under the bus here, but NFL scouts know players in the next year's class as well as this year's class. So I think that if I had this as my full-time job, I should do the same. Again, not trying to call anybody else out, just saying that for myself. I hold myself to an extremely high standard. So that's why I tell you guys, be a dick. Just don't be a dick about it, because I want you to hold me to the standard that I want to hold myself. So just keep that in mind as well. If you guys want to say like, hey, I think you should be doing this instead. I mean, I might push back a little bit if I don't see it 100%, but I absolutely am saying that out of more so trying to understand where maybe I can improve and maybe where I don't see it. And then we can find some middle ground where it's like, okay, well, you're like, hey, I don't want a running ticker. It's like, well, I like the running ticker because it gets a lot of information. But you might just say like, oh, well, maybe like the ticker, like, I don't know, like I don't love the ticker speed or the ticker colors, or like maybe you can try to do something like at that point, then we can start working together and actually making the experience better for you. And then it makes it better for everybody else too. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But regardless, yeah, I mean, I personally haven't studied him yet. Where has Caleb Downs been this entire season? He's been doing pretty solid, man. He's not been to the level he was where I was starting to study him and I'm like, dude, this is like a top 5 pick. At the start of the year, I forgot that he wasn't in this class. And I'm like, oh, shit. And, well, that was kind of a bummer for me. But continuing, Guillermo says, both fit in Kyle's system anyways, just need a Kittle replacement for the future. I would prefer to lean in terms of, oh, Ulysses Bentley, pony up, baby. Damn, Ole Miss beating LSU. I love that. Ulysses Bentley used to go to SMU. I think he's a redshirt senior too. Like he was there when I was like a freshman. Dude's a little bit aged for a quarterback or for a running back in college. But yeah, I would prefer to focus on the blocking, which then you're going to be getting. We're going to get Tyler Warren over Harold Fannin. Can't wait for Genty to cook tonight. Honestly, that sounds so fun. Hey, you skipped my Hook'em BTA. Where the hell? Where's your comment? I don't see any Hook'em comments up here. I'm rolling up too. I'm looking at the receipts. I don't see no damn Hook'em. Where's the Hook'em at? You lied. You just wanted me to talk about Hook'em horns. I'm only scrolling up through every single comment so far. Liar, Sangi. I know, Tyler. Liar. But regardless, yes, Texas did a good job. So seems fair enough. Thanks. Who's the most underrated player this draft? Whew. Okay. So Igbinosun has gotten a lot of credit from like really solid sources. I would say Jaden Higgins is starting to pick up because I think he has 7 straight games of a touchdown. So I can't say that. Miller Moss doesn't get enough credit, but he right now is going to be that late day 2, early day 3 type of guy. So I can't fully hype him up either. I would honestly, based on what I've seen so far, and he's continued to do a good job, might be Jake Brenningstool, tight end out of Clemson. I mean, it's a curveball for sure, but I mean, nobody talks about this guy, and he was like my tight end 3 coming into the year, and he's somebody who runs routes like a wide receiver. He gained 10 pounds, and he was already a relatively solid blocker. If you guys hear like a little like scratching sound like in the background, for those of y'all who voted on me keeping a wild bunny, he's here now. This is your fault. So you guys get to suffer the consequences. And so do I. Don't you start eating the cage. I swear. I love him, but this dude starts biting the cage. It's a 7-foot long cage, 94 inches. I bought him the most expensive big crate possible so this guy could just run around. And then I let him out to run around. What have y'all done to me? Anywho, Jake Brenningstool, I would say that. He gets like no respect, and he's a real quality tight end. He was doing a good job today too. So Tennessee finally scored. I mean, I haven't been keeping up on those games, so I mean, I didn't think Tennessee would have an issue scoring. So good on them. So did I rush at SMU? I have a friend who just rushed K-Sig. Funnily enough, I did start the rushing process for K-Sig. So, yeah, I mean, it was first week of January, or I think it was second week, maybe third week. Who gives a shit? It was early January 2020. And I know I'm old, but I ended up starting the rushing process. And yeah, I ended up going to a couple K-Sig events, and they had like a big boxing thing. I almost went with Rashi Rice. So yes, I did know Rashi back at that point. That's when I met him, actually, in January 2020. Yeah, that's so strange. It's after an accounting class. I was walking out to like a main thoroughfare. I just see this dude walking by, and I could tell he's like probably a football player, but he's wearing these red Jordans. And I walk up to him and I'm like, dude, love your J's. And he's like, thanks, man. And I'm like, well, like, who are you? Well, I didn't even say that. I was just like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Alex, like freshman here. And he's like, oh, I'm number 11. You see me on TV. I still remember that line. And I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck you are, buddy. But we ended up having a talk because we were both in sport management, and then that's why he ended up coming on the show. So he was the first guest on the show. But that's a long-winded way of saying like that was my early time at SMU. Like I ended up rushing K-Sig, and I just dropped out. I realized there's a certain point where you realize that rushing for fraternities, how fun it is, like during the rushing period. Wow, BYU, Pittsburgh, like both those teams are 6-0. That's nuts. I mean, SMU lost to one of them, so I'm like, hey, for that being our only loss, I'll take it at this point, and we get to play Pitt. But yeah, I realize that it's just a big marketing scam. Like it costs $2,500 or $2,800 a semester at SMU, and that's for nefarious reasons why they charge that much. So that I was just like, nah, I'm not going to put my parents through that. At that time, obviously, I was like 18 years old. But yes, yeah, no, I ended up doing that. But then Tyler said, Ewers can't play like that against Georgia next week. Just can't. Definitely was seeing ghosts when he on his first game back. 100% agree, Tyler. 100%. I thought that Oklahoma won Texas that game, not Texas winning that game on their own. RJ Maryland's an underrated tight end. I totally agree. Totally agree, Guillermo. Totally agree. He's a really good player. So funny story, good coincidence. Funny everyone there worships Rashi. I mean, again, man, he was a cool guy before he got like really popular. But I do have a phone call. All right, can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can. Son of a biscuit. I know I was muted. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah, you can. Okay. Dude, I swear to God, new tech. I was on the phone anyway, so it ended up working out. For like that was like perfect time to mute. But anywho, I'm back, y'all. Bunny Man? Who is Bunny Man? Who? Whose man's is Bunny Man? It's over 3,200 a semester at SMU for oh my God. Scam. Crazy school though. My friend is now friends with the Chiefs owner's daughter. Yeah, dude. The Hunts are pretty popular at SMU. Dude, the Hunts are popular. I had some friends who knew the son. He's still there. I think he's a senior. Some crazy people at SMU, dude. But that's sick. I mean, obviously, that's a great person to know. We'll see. Maybe we could. I don't know if I'll ever get a job with the Chiefs. Mainly because I haven't fully agreed with the majority of their picks. So I don't think that I'm going to be the best representative of what the organization believes in their vision for their franchise. Oh, well, we're still at halftime, by the way. Love that. Is there any other games going on? I mean, my dumbass could be watching a game on my phone, technically. That's what I sometimes do. I have one on a computer, one on the TV, one on my phone. I just go nuts. I could open like multiple screens and shit. Oh. I got Ole Miss SMU or LSU. Look at that shit. It's kind of sad. I just showed you like it's not like it's 5 seconds left. Are you shitting me? Man, y'all need to time these games better so I can hop between one and another. The hell? Florida versus Tennessee. I mean, what's up with that, PD? What's up? Bunny Man, what are your thoughts on Ollie? So I came into the year being an Ollie hater. Not saying like, oh, I'm right. But like Ollie hater in terms of I had him as RB9. I feel like that's pretty fair at the moment. Like, he's a home run hitter. That's what he's best at. He has really good long speed. He can hit the hole. But I didn't feel like his vision was consistent enough. And his missed tackle ability, I said, was not translatable. I didn't feel like it would be year over year the same exact guy. And unfortunately, I was right. Again, there's certain situations and certain players I really wish I'm wrong. That was one of them. Because, like, being able to see someone who can consistently be a home run hitter, that's always super fun, especially in NFL where running back is relatively a boring position now. Like, even Bijan Robinson isn't super duper exciting. And I love Bijan Robinson. So we finally got it with Ashton Genty. That's sick. But yeah, with Ollie Gordon, yeah, it sucked. It sucked. So how do I feel about Malik Neighbors going to the Travis concert while being in concussion protocol and being ruled out Sunday? Well, mixed feelings about it. Being under concussion protocol and then being in an area with massive speakers that are blasting you with sound waves and concussion blast, like that is literally a concussion blast, probably not the best idea. But at the same time, it's his own life. He can choose whatever he wants to do. And I mean, going to a Travis concert is pretty fucking sick. Travis Scott. Like, I wish I could go to it. But again, not a huge fan when, again, you're potentially lengthening the time. I mean, big word on big emphasis on potentially lengthening the time you're out with concussion protocol because of the fact that when you're getting hit with heavy concussion blasts, because I assume you got good seats, you're not going to be sitting in the nosebleeds where, you know, those sounds are going to be less and less amplified. But yeah, maybe not the move that I'd prefer, but at the same time, it's not like we're talking about Trey Lance where he's being flashy but not consistent and then going to strip clubs after losses. Like, not like that. Like, he's been legitimately dominant. I don't think that's going to be something that really can affect the team, but it's certainly something to consider. Certainly something to look at. Anywho, keep the comments coming in, guys. Feel free to ask me personal questions as well. I'm far from shy to do that. If you guys weren't here earlier, but we're going to be having another guest on the show next week, Devin Jackson, which I retweet Devin's stuff all the time. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, which you should, I know probably the majority of you guys who are watching right now, actually a lot of people are commenting on YouTube, but the majority of you are on Twitter right now. So if you guys aren't following me there as it is, probably should. But even if you aren't, if you see my tweets, a lot of them are about Devin and his work. Dude does a great job. And I was like, dude, you're making me look like I don't post content. And, you know, this guy's just like, I'm watching games with my dad, just tweet during the game for guys that I see. And I'm like, you know what? Power to you, man. That's so sick, by the way, being able to like kick back and watch games with your dad. Like, I wish I ended up doing that last week with Ohio State versus Iowa. Or was that last week? I think it was last week. Ohio State versus Iowa with my parents. Like, I love that. My parents live 100 miles away, though. So it's like not super attainable when you got stuff to do here, too. So that's something that's super cool. Jealous of Devin for being able to do that, but at the same time, he's a great friend of the show. Kamari Lassiter injured out for a couple of weeks. What the hell? That sucks. Damn, he was having a really good year too. So, anywho, there's a little trauma dump for you guys. So, Guillermo asks, "Who's my early QB1 for 26?" It's probably gonna be Arch. Let's not get too crazy. I'm not gonna have a crazy take. I don't think Sellers is that good. I mean, the dude is not clutch. I'll put it that way. So what happened to Ohio State's tackle Simmons? We'll see what happens. Like, I don't know exactly what the story is, but I saw him hurt his knee and then get on a cart. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that was just more preventative maintenance than anything. Just trying to make sure that if it is something that is potentially about to tear, that they're not going to make it worse. That's my thought on it. But I haven't seen an update. If you guys see an update, feel free to shoot it in the chat. That'd be awesome. How's my weekend been? Busy, man. I ended up waking up at like 8:30 in the morning, which is relatively normal for me. Relatively normal on the weekends. My full-time job starts at 7:30 a.m. So I get up a little bit before that. But ended up getting my oil change today. That was entertaining. Not having to wait in line. I don't know if you guys have Take 5s near you. Denzel, what the fuck? Seriously, dude? This guy's getting eaten alive. By the way, Jordan Hancock, really nice press. Really nice jam right there at the line of scrimmage. Denzel did not cover jack shit. This dude was literally in between both of the receivers in the worst spot possible. Great job by Evan Stewart. Honestly, that dude's having a come-out game. I love that. I was really let down by him at Texas A&M. Really let down. If he ends up being one of my top 15 receivers, I'm going to be so happy. But, yeah, my weekend's been busy. Ended up getting some lunch with my girlfriend and then ended up coming back and just watched all the games. And I just said, fuck it, let's do a live stream. Hopefully, I mean, I might have to end this a little bit early because I'm also dying inside in terms of fatigue from the past week. I ended up having those like late days at work. I don't know if y'all, I'm sure some of y'all were talking about having like 14-hour shifts. But yeah, it was a couple of those shifts where it was, I work a 980 schedule. So I work about 9 hours a day at work. So every other Friday I have off. Great schedule. If you can find a company like that, do that, by the way. It's great for appointments as well. But there are some of these days where I was there for over 11 hours and I'm like, I am losing my fucking mind because then I have to go home and then obviously I have to record for you guys. So I try my best to balance it, but it's been a long week. I'll put it that way. I am fatigued, but I still wanted to watch this game with you guys. And the fact that you guys are tuning in is awesome. Crosby said hit Adams and he are a package deal. So what are your thoughts on Crosby and Adams to the Steelers for Pickens and a lot of picks? I don't think it solves our problem. I'll just be honest. Like, Pickens is kind of being a bitch, but at the same time, you think Antonio Pierce wants to take on someone with a personality disorder? Like, that's kind of the main reason why there is issues with Devontae Adams at the moment is because he's not putting 100% out there. So if that's the case, yeah, I don't think it's very feasible. And I love Devontae. I love Max. I feel like our pass rush is fine. So I would say like there's some other teams out there. Hell, if you want to talk about the Bears, for example, I know it's a dark horse team, but I love Darrell Taylor. I think he's doing a fantastic job, but Keenan Allen's going to be out after this year. Like if you really just want to go pedal to the metal, Montez Sweat, Max Crosby. If you want to send something like, you could talk about Rome Odunze if you really want to. I don't think that's a smart move, but even DJ Moore, because DJ Moore's gotten pissy from time to time. For that, I'd be open, but it's so expensive, guys. Who's my early prediction for the first overall pick? Player and team. Oh, I would say Patriots trading out. It's kind of a cop-out. But I really do think that... What the hell are you doing? Hold on. I don't know. Can I do this? Oh, he already ran away. I was going to point the camera at the damn rabbit. Oh, there he is. Hold on. You guys get a view of my room. He's like straight up. Yeah, you can see the Cholula bottle there as well. He's straight up like going nuts in there. Dude's crazy. But relax, home slice. I don't know. The dude's straight up standing on his back legs. But I would say Patriots, if they have to stick and pick, could be Nick Scorton. But if Josh Simmons is not actually fully hurt, dark horse pick for pick number 1. So, yeah, Kamari got hurt. Unfortunately, did not clutch up. Yeah, no, this... Oh. Kalen 2.0. I mean, honestly, guys, he's performing like that. He's going to be probably the loser of the week. Just tuned in late and saw that he wasn't out there. He must have heard you giving him that high praise. Oh, you're talking about Justin Simmons? I know. This is my first stream. How often do you stream? I really fuck with the format. Dude, this is my first watch along. So, welcome to the first stream. Broshma and I try to do it on Thursdays or Fridays. But recently, like, my Thursdays have been hella booked. I mean, it was supposed to be every Friday. So, we're blaming Broshma on that one. He's changed it to Thursdays. But, like, this Thursday, my mom's coming to town, too. So, it's like, it's been a small hiatus. But we'll get back to it. I usually stream with Broshma for Draft Bros. But this is one of the first solo streams. I don't know if y'all can see that. Do y'all see that shit? Psychopath. I have a psycho bunny in here. Bunny man, I have your homie here. Relax. See, I let him out of his crate, and he loves my big beanbag over there. The dude now hates being in his cage. And I paid a lot of money for that damn thing. For him to have a 7-foot runway. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but he's a damn rabbit. I mean, I gave him as big of a runway as possible. You are greedy. I give this dude a gourmet meal every day. Carrots, sprouts, hay, pellets. And he's potty trained. So I clean out his thing where he goes potty every day. Annoying. But, yeah. So, thoughts on Aronde Gadsden this year? So, I liked Gadsden. He's the fuck? This dude's on some. I think that he's a really solid weapon. It's just weird at his frame. I got to check his current weight, though. Like, let's see. What's his current frame? I'm going to figure this out. Because Gadsden Aronde. Hello. Yeah, he's up to 236. Okay, that's good. I thought he was still in that 230 range. Because he played like a slot wide receiver that's just a little bit slower. He's an interesting day 2 target. Okay, let's see. Big throw by Will. And was that Jeremiah Smith? Yeah, Jeremiah Smith. I mean, I don't want him to pull it into his gut the way he did, but I'm going to be the last person to ever criticize Jeremiah Smith's hands. Oh, man. He blew past Jabbar Muhammad. Ooh, that's not a good look for Jabbar. God damn. This is the first time I've seen Jabbar in live action, too. Anyways. Yeah, no, I haven't regraded him this year. I'll admit that. I owe him that. Especially since he's 10 pounds heavier. I do kind of owe him that. So he's incredible, but just not sure about his draft stock. I feel like we get no draft buzz. He could, like, again, it's on me for not studying him at this point. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I do think that legitimate draft stock, probably late 3rd, because there is a big gap, like I was talking about, between the top 3 tight ends in the next group. He could be in that next group. I just spoiled it for myself. The damn draft tracker is ahead of where I'm at. Clean shot down the middle to that number 88 guy again. Honestly. Ooh, is he? Oh, please don't say he's passed out. Okay, no, he's covering up the ball. I hate when I see players slumped like that, but he was just holding onto the ball while someone's trying to strip it. Whew. Good play design, though. Dude, those tight end wheel routes. I mean, that was almost an elongated angle route. That's kind of nuts. And that was not Will's first read, too. Will has those moments where I could really see a legit NFL quarterback in him. But, yeah, I would say late round 3, day 3 pick for sure. I don't think he'll go undrafted. Bears fan, I'm not sure how I would make that move. I don't think I'd make it either, but it's just an idea that popped into my head for our team that if they wanted to make a big push, they wanted to just get a veteran wide receiver and could offer a veteran wide receiver in return and then end up boosting the pass rush. It's an idea, but again, I think it's too expensive for any franchise. Nice rabbit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, see, guys, I finally caught up. I told you guys I'd read all your messages. This ain't no Broshmo stream. I love the guy. There's no shade. At home, you guys probably know this. Homies like to pick each other apart for fun stuff. Oh, Will, you had an open shot right there, dude. Oh, he ended up extending the play and throwing it to Jeremiah Smith. Good job. He had a time earlier with there was a quick release that he had a shot, short range to the end zone, but good play extension on the money, Jeremiah Smith. That was a good play. Really nice play. Top 5 streamer performance of all time. I mean, I don't know if I have too many more fun stories to be able to do this every single time. So this might be a top 5 streamer performance of me too. Hopefully not, but Smith and Williams early. I know I'm excited the fact that college football will have these guys for the next couple years, but I'm also pissed that we can't talk about them in the NFL. It's like, damn, you guys couldn't come out? The Steelers can't get Jeremiah Smith? Ryan Williams and the Steelers would fit a lot better. I literally said I'm not going to criticize his Jeremiah Smith's hands as this dude is like literally palming the ball in his hand. This dude's nuts. I saw some people comp him to Julio Jones. I don't know if he's athletic to that degree, but I need to watch more of him. He's a beast, though. I would let the rabbit out, but this dude's just a psychopath. You know, he bit the hell out of my finger. My finger is still healing from a month and a half ago. The dude bit the hell out of it. So now I can't even hold him up for you guys. He'll like go absolutely berserk. I don't have gloves either. Otherwise, he would be forcefully shown to the people who made me take him. I wanted to take him. I'm not going to put that blame on you guys. But, I now have this godforsaken stream will continue shortly thing. I'm having an aneurysm watching Kentucky play Vandy. Imagine how the Alabama fans felt. I'll just say that, Jacob. It could be worse. Oh, man. Okay. Devin just texted me. Yes, sir. So, yeah, it'll probably be the Friday video. I'm going to be recording with Devin on Tuesday, though. I'm debating on like if I think I should do that. I should record and allow that to be my Wednesday video and then just push the mock draft with trades a day. I think that's fine. We'll survive. I think we'll survive. We'll be okay. Yeah, Guillermo said touchdown for Jeremiah. No, dude, I'm hyped. Ohio State's doing so well this year. When I saw them get Will Howard, I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. Man, I want to get a drink. Should we get the sponsored drink in the house? We should get a sponsored drink, shouldn't we? I have Olipop in my fridge. That's why. My God. My rabbit's going to town on some hay right now, too. His name's Gus. It's a sick name. Okay, Jacob ends up asking a Quajon. What do I think happens with J.J. McCarthy if Sam Darnold continues to ball out? Dude, that's a great question that I've asked many people. So I'll instantly say I do not have a solidified answer because like I too am debating what would happen. The question is, how good is Sam Darnold? Like, how much confidence do you have that it's Sam Darnold that's working your system? Like, what's the percentage chance that it's Sam Darnold's fit over just the system, right? Like, can J.J. McCarthy replicate it? If you are feeling that it's 80% to 90%, or even above, obviously, like 80 plus, that JJ can be as efficient, if not more, or as effective as Sam, trade Sam away, tag him, trade him. Like, there's going to be teams out there that miss out on a quarterback. And, I mean, hell, I don't think the Panthers are going to want him back. I don't think he'll want the Panthers back. But theoretically, if there is a franchise that a quarterback goes down, like God forbid, like let's just say God forbid Brock Purdy gets hurt. Sam has comfortability in that system. The Niners can send a 3rd round pick. Maybe it'll be even less than that. Like it could be even a 4th or something, but let's just say, let's throw the number out there, a 3rd round pick. Then that'd be what's up. That'd be it's sinister. It's malicious almost to kind of hope for an injury in that case, but that's how you can maximize the value. Otherwise, like, let's just say trade him to the Niners for like a 7th round pick, just net positive. So just see how it goes. Knowing our O-line, so Guillermo is a Niners fan, it's likely that Brock could get hurt. So Aiden asks, favorite flavor of Olipop? Sponsor the show. They're still a sponsor. I just mentioned because I try to cut down my intro time a little bit for you guys. Gino's at the game? The hell? Is it Gino from Baylor? Oh, he's from West Virginia. He's from Baylor. I know RG was. I thought there was another quarterback from Baylor. But I don't know what the hell Gino's doing in town. I guess he came down from Seattle. Good tempo throw by Dylan Gabriel. When Dylan Gabriel's hot, very few quarterbacks that can run the rhythm the way he does. He throws a great tempo. Igbinosin. I'm trying my best to like not say Igbinosin. It's Igbinosin. Had a good tackle there. Oh, Terrence Ferguson with a bad drop. Ooh, what's up with the flag? Illegal man downfield? Pass interference? What's going on with that? Damn, Georgia and Mississippi State was a much closer game than I thought. Last time I checked on it, I thought it was a bigger point differential. Tennessee, Florida's 10-10? Damn. That's not good. But that's a long-winded way of saying, because like underdog is where I actually make $60 per one of you guys. Surprisingly, I think I've been the only one who's used my code, or like 1 or 2 people. But I got $50 recently for my 4 years of service to Olipop. I don't get paid very much by them at all. I usually use it so I can get the new flavors early and then at a discount. But I gotta say root beer, man. Cherry Cola's up there. I'm trying to see, is there a bad flavor of Olipop? I would say fruit punch would be like my least favorite. Like I would say I love the majority of flavors. Orange, it's solid, but grape soda is my dark horse favorite. Then the peaches and cream was kind of mid. And then he had it as a Barbie one too. So I'm like, really? They didn't even advertise it until like after the fact. And then now at Central Market, it's buy one, get one free on the Barbie ones. Peaches and cream. So I think those are their 2 biggest whiffs. Their lemon lime was not great either. Their ginger ale is okay. So I feel like I am a little bit more biased. But cherry vanilla will always have a place in my heart. I love cherry vanilla, and that's what got me to first try Olipop. But I got to say, Cody Carlson. There we go. Oh, man. I love the Houston Oilers too, man. That's my favorite jersey of all time. So regardless, I would say root beer or cherry cola. Any chance at all of Travis Hunter going number 1 overall? Absolutely. Absolutely. It just depends on what he wants to play. I think that if there's a team that can afford to have him as a corner 100% of the time and then receiver for a little bit, a la Washington, I think it's more possible. But people talk about that his way to play both sides of the field. Like, did Igbinosa get flagged there? That's an uncatchable ball, guys. That's something I don't understand. The uncatchable ball rule. Oh, man, I should have turned on the sound. Oh, it's offsetting penalties. I think it was illegal man downfield. But I don't think that there's the uncatchable ball rule applied enough to pass interference. I've seen passes that are 15 yards over and they'll still throw a PI. And I'm like, guys, seriously? Like, Usain Bolt couldn't run that. Like, the hell? But once again, Igbinosin, he just didn't transition early enough. Yeah, dude. And don't wear white gloves when you're playing a black jerseyed team and you're going to grab. Be sneakier. Be smarter. Like, what the hell? I'm seeing, I think, Caleb Downs' black gloves. That might be Lathan Ransom. Based on the way that he just blew up the line of scrimmage, I think that might have been Ransom. And it was. Yeah. Dude's a freaking monster. But yeah, I think that a team that wants to use him primarily as a defensive back, but gives him opportunities at receiver, they could see that value. But I don't think that there's going to be a true two-way player. It's not realistic in the NFL anymore. Do I think Hyatt's a bust? I think that he's a big disappointment. I worry that it's too early because, I mean, short answer, yes. But I'm someone who's trying to be an optimist about the situation. And it's also 4th and inches, so I'm slightly distracted and trying to ramble on because I want to be able to see this play. Give me it to Jordan James. Oh! He pulled it. Wow. And then Denzel Burke just got shellacked by Terrence Ferguson. This is like an all-time worst game for Denzel Burke. I'm going to tweet right now, by the way. But yeah, Hyatt's just been very disappointing. And it's quite sad. But I don't know how to use him better. What, Nate? Hold up. Guillermo, I'm going to get to your question in a sec. I just spammed a ton of girls on Snap. 1 message per person. Let's hope I get responses. Keep us updated, brother. Keep us updated. That's always interesting. I gotta find this thing where I ended up tweeting like 2 days ago too, where I said, "How could you not like Denzel Burke?" Hold on, I actually ended up getting a lot of likes on it too. I'm like, fuck. Oh, damn. I tweet way too much, guys. I think we're at that point. I can see that I'm live. I'm gonna retweet this shit. Delete that shit. Retweet. Let's see. How can you not like Denzel Burke? It's like, well, shit. I had to out myself. I had to do old takes exposed on my ass. But yes, keep us. Anyone I saw, I messaged. I got one response. Let's go. I'm gonna star your comment just so we can continue going back to it. I totally missed a dot by Gabriel, but it just got swatted at the line of scrimmage though. You guys can see it before I do, by the way. I can't see it. I have a little itty bitty laptop right here, so you guys are seeing a screen that I'm not seeing. You guys could at least get to see my reaction. So has my top receiver rankings changed since last time? And what do you think about Trey Harris to the Chiefs? Ooh, okay. Well, Trey Harris could play the Z. And if he's there in the second round, I totally am fine with that. I feel like if they wanted a Trey Harris style, they would have went after Xavier Leggett last year because it's very similar. Big frame. Not an elite route runner, but really good after the catch. And like kind of like a home run hitter. So I doubt they'll value it first round this year because they consciously elected not to bring that into their system. Hold on. You guys see this shit? He's eating a giant piece of straw. Don't get camera shy. There you go. Fucker. I love him. I promise. Keep going. This dude's eating a straw that's like 4 times the length of his body. Piece of hay. My goodness. But yeah, I don't think the Chiefs would value it first round based on their previous instances. Oh, missed it on a 3rd and goal. Honestly, I'm fine with quarterbacks slightly overshooting in the goal line area just because players lurk so well. So I prefer to need a receiver with massive catch radius. So I fuck with it. That was a fine play by Gabriel. Dude, he's so itty bitty. Like, I'm nearly as tall as Dylan Gabriel. And obviously in sports wise, at 5'8", I am itty bitty. Oh, give it to Tez. Give it to Tez. Oh, Tez is wide open. Tez was wide open. Oh, no. That wasn't a primary read? Lathan Ransom just came up with a big play, though. Lathan's a fucking monster. I always said in the red zone, there's not a better safety. Oh, that's PI. What the hell? That's PI. The defender's back was to the ball, and he was like straight up like giving him a little shimmy with his arms on him. That's some bullshit. And I'm rooting for Ohio State. I just want him to play a clean game, man. Anywho, Trey Harris in the second round, I think, would be an excellent move for the Chiefs. But top 5 receivers have changed noticeably. TBD on it though, because I'm still going through the grading process. Like receivers, I have a lot of guys to catch up on. But yeah, Jaden Higgins. So right now, because I need to regrade Bo Collins again. He dropped from the first time, but I still ended up having him graded as a top receiver. So it's like like my top 5, no particular order, because again, in need of reevaluation. Travis Hunter, Ricky White, Jaden Higgins, Isaiah Bond, and Bo Collins, with Luther Burden being right outside of that top 5. So it's a good group of players, though. Really good group of players. And I end up actually having like something called, hold up, damn. I end up having scheme-specific roles where I end up like seeing what their actual highest grade would be for certain teams. Got to admit, certain players end up getting a big point boost because of that. And to be fair, I ended up really implementing it because of Tetairoa McMillan. So I guess there's that. So gotta love the refs. Did you get? I got an ad back. What do you mean you got an ad back? How do you message people that you didn't get added? This is Snapchat. Be right back. A girl earlier asked if I wanted to bet money on 8-ball or 8-pool. I assume 8-ball. I mean, hey man, go for it, brother. I mean, do your thing. I don't know why she'd want to bet money on 8-ball. I don't know if that's the type of quality of woman that you should be looking for. Only people who use my code on Hail Mary on Underdog Fantasy should be betting. You can use the top link in the link tree. But anywho, is this the game that will single-handedly tank a player's stock the most? Yeah. I mean, this is a game. Like, you're talking about 2 NFL receivers in Evan Stewart, who again I had him ranked as a backup. Like, not he was great as a backup player, not even like an actual fringe starter or something. And then Tez, who's a fringe starter for me, and he's doing a really bad job versus that. And then you look at the offensive line, and it's like, well, like there's a way where both sides can win, right, in the trenches. So for Donovan Jackson, if he loses to Derek Harmon, but it's just like a really good fight each rep, I could see both of them boosting their stock, right? Like if it's just a good damn matchup that they both succeed in, chill. God damn, bruh. He just wants to run around. He's pissed, the rabbit. But yeah, I mean, there's ways that both sides can win. But if you really lose, like with Olu Fashanu, he didn't technically lose stock, but it's certainly something now that you're seeing him struggle in the NFL a bit early on, where it's like, well, do you want to take him at 10? Oh, beautiful route by Emeka Ibuka. Something that I'm trying to adjust my grading system for is like, I'm really not a fan of receivers that run curled in and out routes, like the 90-degree cuts, like guys who, rather than, sinking their hips and then cutting one way or the other, they roll into it. Like, I think that there's a way you could generate separation with both. If you're curving, how well do you maintain momentum? If you're cutting, like how quickly do you cut? And I'm going to debate adjusting for that because I'm just not a fan of guys who bend their routes. But Emeka does a really good job of it. He maintains momentum better than most people. So what the hell? Oh, anyways, yeah, it's a big game for people's stock to drop. So I just chatted to a girl just now named Trishan. The hell? Instant red flag, brother. Instant red flag. We don't do that. We don't do that. No, sir. Why does Patrick Herbert look like Justin Herbert? Are they related? Maybe that might be why. Imagine doing a food draft. I kind of did with Broshmo over the summer, by the way. You guys can go figure those out. Like we did like drafting foods. So to give a draft analysis on food, I mean, I could kind of do it. I have some very unique takes on food, though. I've debated it, but I'd say I wish we were picking high enough for Travis Hunter, but our days of picking that are hopefully finished with Jaden Daniels. I agree. I don't think they're going to be there. Thank you. Great top 5. Got another response so far. So we got 2 responses for Nate. He's hitting up girls on Snapchat. We love that. Nate is striking out. Nate says he doesn't gamble. Oh, shit. I stumbled across... Huh? A of girl. Nate, help a brother out. Oh, no. Fumble. Botch snap. That was botched by Will Howard, though. That wasn't Seth McLaughlin. Game is game. Nate, what are you talking about, big man? So, huh? What are we talking about here, guys? I know that guy, girl, Tristan. Oh, no. Oh, no. Are you a guy for pineapple on pizza? So, it's more than a yes or no. And I saw another food critic actually give a beautiful explanation of this. There are certain styles of pizza that you don't need respect for. You talk about like a Domino's pizza, Pizza Rev, which is like, what is it called? I'm trying to remember LeBron's pizza place, Blaze, like Blaze Pizza. There's no respect for those. Zero. So that's where it's like, you know what? I think it's actually a really cool addition. But if you're going for something that genuinely delivers flavor, is supposed to be eaten as a standard pizza, do not mess it up. Don't do it. But I think that if you're ordering from anything besides a genuine dedicated pizzeria, it's okay. I respect it. But if you go to a nice place, like a genuine Neapolitan style pizza place, and you order pineapple on a pizza, you're part of the problem. You're the reason why people who genuinely have a strong stance against it have a strong stance. Could be a cool off-season thing to do random topics with guests, food, drinks, cars, and random shit. Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, that's what Brosho and I did, but I mean, 100%. I do. I think he's talking about the pineapple pizza guy. So Nate is smashed. I think he is. I think he's trying to get smashed, though. Oh. Jesus Christ. People are funny. People are funny. Their demands. Oh. Anyways, keep it coming, y'all. Keep it coming. It's actually silent for once. Can you imagine that? It's crazy. But apparently, if you want to get oil, do it in the morning, because then you don't have to wait in a fuck-ass line. Uh-huh. The rabbit's going nuts. He burrowed himself underneath a blanket. Gus. Rat bastard. He's taken very well care of. It's like, this is the worst time, because it's not like I can analyze the game. I mean, like, as you can see, it'll resume shortly. Isn't it funny? I'm really just picking up a camera. I love that. Oh, you should rename. Okay. What are my thoughts on the Illinois game? I didn't get to watch it because I was focused on the other one. So TBD on that. Feel free to ask it like tomorrow or such. You should rename your bunny to Drake May. He's going to get renamed to douchebag at this point. Dude's making a ton of sound. Or Christian Gonzalez. You know what? We can call him Speedy Gonzalez. He's fast as hell, so we can call him Gonzo. It sounds close to Gus, too. Watching from Ireland, by the way, working night shift. Dude, what a beast. What an absolute beast. Commander Burger. Damn, do you work in the night shift? Just took Nick Scorton first overall at 150 to 1. Hey, man, power to you. It's not out of the possibility. If he ends up testing really well, continues to play very well, not out of the question. Gonzo is tough. That should be actually the nickname. Works on so many levels. Absolutely. Gus and Gonzo is close enough. The Gus bus. He's like this big now, too. What the hell, man? Absolute massive attitude. Who could believe a wild cottontail rabbit has an attitude? Not me. Saved his ass because my dog was trying to eat him. His mom left him. And now he's ungrateful for the fact he has a freaking 94-inch runway. Which, equivalently to us, that's like a 40... He has a 40-yard dash. The dude is still grouchy. Unfucking believable. Like, I'm telling you, comparison is the thief of joy. It really is. All right, any dark horses for the first pick? Ohio State tackle, anyone else like that? So Nick Scorton, Will Johnson. Like, I'll just name the guys, and then we'll just go from there. So, yeah, Nick Scorton, Will Johnson, technically Travis, dark horse, Josh Simmons. I don't think Will Campbell will have prospect. He won't be viewed as a potential first overall pick. One of the quarterbacks could take a massive ascension. Damn. James just ended up cutting up right up the middle. These defenses are allowing some chunk plays today. Penn State's O-line, too. I just had a popcorn kernel from when I ate before the stream just hit me in the throat. Hey, Jacob. Thank you, bro. For those of y'all who haven't signed up for Underdog yet, feel free to. You can click the top link in my link tree. It should be in the description of this. But you get up to 1,000 bonus cash when you do your first deposit of $10 or more. It sends me $60. It actually does, like full transparency. But I use the app almost every single week. I shouldn't. I'm glad that my work, actually, the Wi-Fi blocks me from being able to use it. Otherwise, like during downtimes at work, oh, damn, Jordan James had a nasty block on Lathan Ransom. Holy Toledo. I'd be doing it more. But I actually promote the brand because they legitimately take care of me. Like, money aside, they do it. They're actually a brand that I like a lot. And for guys like me in Texas, where I can't bet the way that was it Washington Burger, Commander Burger, ended up betting, because sportsbooks are illegal, and especially online betting in Texas, it actually allows you to be able to do that. So that's why I like it. And then again, they have incentives all the time. Like every single week, there's going to be like something where, hey, there's a free pick. We can boost your profits by 10%. There's sometimes a 30% one too. And then at the start of each season, like, oh, damn, Dylan Gabriel just ran for a tutty. Whoo, things just got interesting. Damn, to be in that stadium would be so sick. Damn. Good play by Gabriel. This is a great game. Glad that I ended up doing this. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've actually won only one bet so far. And that's because if you guys watch my Twitter, I always post when I do bets. I have a very big issue with just continuing to like stack different bets into like one big, what is it called? Like parlays. Like I always have like an 8-leg parlay. If you have 8 options, I'll do all 8. And I know it screws myself over, and full transparency, they give me funds to be able to use on their site as well. So it does supplement the fact that like I can be a little bit of a hooligan. But the one that I've won one bet so far. It's kind of sad. But that's also why sometimes you can use my betting advice as what not to do. It was at the UFC. So you can do stuff like that, MLB, NCAA football at the start of the year. Honestly, it's my favorite bets I've ever done. Like genuinely at the start of the year, NFL, I feel like betting odds are really, really solid. That's where my knowledge of the players, the systems, etc., can set myself apart in the draft, in like the betting world, college is just way more unpredictable, or at least way less known by the betting agencies. So that's where I end up having the most fun. So if you guys want to wait for that, you guys can. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to sign up now if you guys want to. So feel free to do it at your own risk. Again, do it legally, responsibly. I think DFSs are legal in, I think, every state. Do your own research on that, though. But I do it because I have a good time. It adds a lot more energy when I end up doing it to like watching every single player's stats. Like I have to know them anyways, but if I have some skin in the game, it just makes it a little bit more fun. So do it at your own risk, but have fun while doing it. And again, it's that first link in the link tree if you guys like to do that. But thank you to Jacob. You're a beast. Speaking of a beast, Ashton Genty is better than Bijan Robinson. Not going to blame you there, buddy. The only reason he wasn't RB1 this in this offseason was because he had 5 fumbles in the year before. So do you think if Genty remains at the same pace, he could go first overall? That's a big stretch. But it's a great comment. It's a great question to ask because it's like, oh, like, ooh. And obviously Phoenix was talking about that. Rushing touchdown I was just talking about. I think he could go as high as 2. It's just so hard to believe in the modern NFL someone at running back can go 1. But we also haven't really seen a running back like this. It really depends on, like, who goes number 1 overall is not always the best player, right? Like, there is a team element in there where, let's just say, a team with a really good quarterback that got injured. Like, let's say if the Jets were at number 1 last year, they're not drafting Caleb Williams, right? They would have looked elsewhere. I'm not going to say where else they would have went, but let's just say they would have went Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors. They probably would have traded out, but you guys get my gist. So, like, I think that it would be a similar situation there. I don't think that Genty would go first, but it's obviously talent-wise, it would be perfectly fine. Adam just tweeted that Adams might stay in Vegas. I mean, I don't doubt it. It's a heavy price tag. It's also, you got to be willing. It could be propaganda from the Vegas side, being like, oh, well, we're not getting good enough offers. We're fine staying. So Aiden says, all my boys going to colleges in Texas are on the fliff grind. The hell is a fliff grind? Call me a boomer. I don't know what the hell that means. The fliff grind? Help a guy out. Gabriel is going wild. Yeah, and he's doing a great job. This is a big stock up game for Dylan Gabriel. Oh, no. Was JT across the line of scrimmage? Or, he didn't stay. He ended up going straight for the running back. What position do I feel is the strongest in this class? I would say receiver because of depth. Offensive line, interior is probably the next just because of all the tackles that can be guards. Fliff is a betting app marketed to kids. It's 18 plus and is marketed as a free non-money betting app, but you can use actual money. Interesting. I did an ad during the draft for an app very similar to that in terms of what it was looking at, but I just didn't see the vision. You guys didn't like it, and for me, I didn't really get a return. It was going to be like a quarter of it was like 25 cents per user per month who used it like 9 days out of the month. And I'm like, brother, I don't use some apps 9 days out of the month, and I call myself an active user on said apps. So, vision wasn't there. You guys didn't fully love it. The more I saw the emails, the more I didn't agree with the brand vision. But that's certainly interesting. Hopefully it works out for you guys. It seems like it's a very similar idea. I thought it was an interesting idea for sure. But there we go. Our betting options are great. So we're talking about in Ireland, right? Yes. Love Ireland. Especially on the American sports, our books in Ireland are very slow to react. Ooh, that's so smart. That's smart. Huh. Good for you, man. Good for you. 15-leg NFL moneyline parlay this weekend. Let's get it. For real, though. Mecca Buka on 3rd and 4. Ended up getting 6 yards. Good job after the catch. Good vision as well. Emeka Egbuka is healthy. Just makes me smile. It really does. Oh, what a beautiful. That was a beautiful zig. I mean, it's called stop route zig, like whatever you want to call it. Man, that was beautiful. I like that. Good job. He's looking so much more explosive when healthy, too. It broke my heart to give him a poor grade at the start of the year. But he really was unhealthy. Good. Oh, wow. That was almost a pick, almost a good play. Like, that was a really interesting one. Will Howard almost threw a pick, but he shed contact and then almost made a big play to Jeremiah Smith. Let's rewatch this. So he steps up. Yeah, that should have been a pick. If I'm going to be honest. Yeah, that should have been a pick. Oh, shit. I mean, Jeremiah Smith could have technically gotten it, but that was a couple inches. That was, I mean, story of my life, right? Florida Tennessee is going to overtime. It's like literally the battle of mid at this point, based on the scoreline I saw. Not great. Oh, geez. How is Pierce playing? Yes. Monty, let me know. Off topic, but real quick. Do you believe Asante Samuel Jr. is the number one corner? Do you also think Kamani Vidal will have success in this league or mainly ride the bench for depth? I know that with Harbaugh, he likes a lot of value with the running backs based on like the short tenure he's had recently, and he's done a good job with it. So I could see him gaining some potential share as the running backs filter out. And, I don't think he'll ride the bench the whole time, but an RB1 is going to be very tough. For Asante, I always thought that he was like an RB1 or a corner 1.5. I thought he's a really solid guy if you need him to play corner 1. But do I want him every down versus every best receiver in the NFL? No. And I know there's some corners that I have more faith in to be like that. But I had a first on Asante Samuel. I think he was like 20th on my board. And he might not have been. He's definitely a first-round quality guy for me, someone who I liked in that late 1 range. But if you're in that late 1 range, you're someone who I still believe is like a corner 2. I think that a true corner 1, I draft in the top 10. Like that's where I feel comfortable with you. So I would say he's like a 1.5 because I think he's better than what he was coming out. I also got only a couple more minutes, by the way, guys, just because my voice is giving out. We've been doing a couple hours stream, and this has been a real fun one. I got to admit, but your boys got to tap out at a certain. Oh, wow. Did they miss a false start? Or did they get him? Mikulski. Give me your pick to win college football championship at the Super Bowl. I'll do a small stakes double. I will go Ohio State to win the Natty. And then Super Bowl, I think I'll still rock with the Chiefs. I think it's possible. Even without, like, it's just, there's an X factor in the playoffs with the Chiefs. Spag with his defense in the playoffs is just ridiculous. And I also don't really trust the rest of the league to be consistent enough the way that I trust them. More Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams? My simple answer is both. Completely different styles of receiver. But I think Ryan Williams is a little bit more game-breaking. Jeremiah Smith is more reliable. But Jeremiah Smith is a fucking stud. I can't deny it. I mean, both of them would be like 1 and 2 on a board right now. Also, sitting on Jaden Daniels' Offensive Rookie of the Year slips. No bias involved with him, of course. Honestly, I don't blame you. I feel like he's pretty clear-cut the Rookie of the Year at the moment. But we're seeing Will Howard actually having a really good drive right here. Really good consistency apart from that one almost INT. Only watched the second half, but he had a sack, fumble, and a TFL. That's a big one. Thanks to the input, his tackling is rough. I'm saying, so yeah, Asante Samuel, that's another reason why. But maybe he's balling. He got 1 sack. My comment got auto-corrected. Oh, he sack a sack. I think I read it properly. It's like one of those things where it'll like there's like a couple lines and it's like, oh, yada yada, you read that wrong. And it's like you read that wrong again. And then you like go back and you realize it's incorrect. But your mind just puts it together. Have I watched any tape on Utah State's Jalen Royals? So he was my wide receiver 6 coming into the year. Ridiculous contested catch rate. Really good after the catch as well. This year, he's been far less efficient as a contested catcher, but he'll probably still be in my top 10. I really do like him. Very underrated player. Another false start, guys. Come on. This is some bullshit. That's bad. That's going to shoot you in the foot. That could mean, like, if this type of shit keeps going on, Oregon could easily win this game. You can't shoot yourself in the foot when you have momentum. Who? Oh, the 77 guy. Come on, man. You got to be better than that. This is only first penalty, but can't do that. Agreed, that man is underrated. Yeah, Jalen Rawls is someone I tried to include in round 2, at the very minimum round 3 of mock drafts. Oregon's winning the Natty. If it happens, I'm not going to be overly surprised. I think that Broshmo and I had Oregon, Ohio State in the championship. We ended up doing a national championship prediction. Ooh, Burley got slipped out of his shoes. But, yeah, I might call it here, guys. I mean, I have someone coming over. I wanted to hang out with you guys while we watch the show. And honestly, the fact that we're staying at 200 viewers right now is absolutely ridiculous. You guys have been absolutely awesome. And based on this, like, I'm usually just watching the games anyway, and I'm just doing it without streaming. So you guys are making it more enjoyable, more interactive. And I have to rewatch all these games anyway. So, like, if I miss a play, whoop-de-fucking-do. I'm going to watch it anyways. So thank you guys for, like, being able to at least make this even more enjoyable than it is. It's a great game. I hope you guys continue to enjoy watching it. But I feel like I'm going to tap out as well. 2.5 hours. No drink either. Didn't get that Oli Pop. But if you guys want Oli Pop, you guys can use the code. I think it's the second link in the link tree. But thank you, Monty. Yeah, it's been fun. Obviously, Commander Burger, hopefully your night shift goes a little bit quicker. Hopefully this was enjoyable for you. It's been a great watch. Thanks for interacting. Really appreciate you, man. Love Ireland. Can't wait to go there. Just as great for us. Good stuff. Thank you, Phoenix. I mean, honestly, I just enjoyed it. I literally said, fuck it. It's in the middle of the game. I'm like, let's go. Thank you, Aiden. Ton of fun. Hope you have a great rest of the night. Hope you do too. Raw dog, the 2-hour stream. Hey, man, only a couple people I know can just say, like, fuck it, let's turn it on and let's have a good time for 2 hours. And, you know, I owe it to you guys. I mean, you guys continue to respond in comments and continue to keep this interactive. If you guys want to continue doing this on Saturdays, I am more than happy to do that. So, I mean, again, you guys are awesome. If you guys continue coming back and we have conversations like this, I can raw dog 2-hour streams all day long if you guys give me the responses. So, yeah, this could be a regular thing if you guys like it. Have a good night, big man. You too, Petey. Love you, man. And then Jacob, you as well. But most importantly, thank you to all of you for supporting the stream. I know that I got a couple really active users who've been absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't followed me over on YouTube or subscribed, feel free to do so. I'm posting content minimum 6 days a week, upwards of 7. So hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. But in the meantime, you take it easy. Should I do the Broshmo stream and just say later? No. See you on the far side. Peace. Now I'm going to hit the end stream. It's going to take